Hello and welcome to tonight's edition of All Angles. I'm Jody Ann Quarry, sitting in for Dion Jackson Miller. A special thank you and welcome to those of you who are watching online at onespotmedia.com. Some 83,828 Jamaicans received their COVID-19 vaccinations over the past 4 days, from April 9 to April 13, during an island-wide vaccination blitz. The initial target had been 75,000 in order to use up the doses of AstraZeneca vaccines that had been gifted to Jamaica from the African Medical Supplies platform. The expiration date of those vaccines was April 13. Overall, that pushed to 135,000 the number of persons who've received one of two doses of a COVID-19 vaccine here on the island. Over the past few days, however, news has emerged that other countries aren't so happy with AstraZeneca. Denmark has permanently stopped the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC in the United States, has recommended that the United States pause its use of another vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That's a vaccine that's coming to Jamaica as well. So what does that mean for Jamaica? Later on, we'll discuss the situation of nurses and doctors within one of our regional health authorities, the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SARA. They've been restive over the past few days due to the non-payment of their statutory deductions. That means bills like mortgages and car loans have yet to be paid over to institutions. The Nurses Association of Jamaica President Patsy Edwards-Henry will be joining us to discuss that. Before all that, though, our first segment will have us speaking with Craig Powell, who's recently recovered from COVID-19 and is now experiencing some alarming effects. Join tonight's conversation about COVID-19 vaccines, the unfortunate side effects of contracting COVID-19, and the situation of our nation's healthcare workers with our hashtag TVJ All Angles. First, a discussion about COVID-19 side effects. Craig Powell, welcome to All Angles. Good night, Craig, and welcome. Hi, Craig. So we are to have a conversation with Craig Powell, a young man who has been brave enough to explain to the nation what it means to contract COVID-19 and some of the long-term side effects of COVID. We have Craig with us. Hi, Craig, and good night. Welcome to All Angles.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Hi. Thanks so much, Craig. You have been brave enough to speak to the nation and explain to us not only what one time of getting COVID-19 looks like, but you contracted COVID-19 twice. Why did you decide to tell anybody anything at all about your experience?
So the true story is I was having a conversation with my uncle, Keith Duncan, who's the chairman of the PSOJ, about vaccinations. And, he messaged me and said, Craig, people over 18 years old can now get the vaccine. And I run a company which has about 17 employees who are mostly young people, 18 to maybe 38 or so. And I said, I hate this. Why does it always happen as last minute? I should probably close my office for the day and release my, the team to go get the vaccine. And he said, yes, do not hesitate. Do it now. This is about 12 o'clock. Having a conversation to figure out how many people want to take the vaccine. There are a lot of people, well, not a lot, but some of the people in my office that didn't want to take it. And I said, some people don't want to take it. What should I do? And he said, share the video of you being sick. Sorry, my phone just rang. I need to put it on silent very quickly. Let me just do that.
So you need to share the video of yourself sick to those at your office who weren't as excited about getting the vaccine that was made available to them.
And when I shared that video and I saw their responses, they were like, whoa, this man was really sick. My boss was dying. Oh, my God. The immediate thing was maybe the public could use the same thing, the benefit, And then I put it on my Instagram and it went pretty viral. I messaged Gordon and me and Gordon were talking. Gordon knew I was sick from before and he wrote a tweet about me earlier. but didn't share my name. And the reason why I didn't share anything about me being sick to many people was because I still run a company, and I was very afraid of during a sickness to have chaos at Telgent, because if I'm supposedly dying, which, I was, what do, junior employees think? So nobody knew except for the management team. What happens, clients, just a bunch of different stuff. So they didn't know I was sick. So shared the video, put it on Instagram, went viral. Gordon shared it, went viral. Lots of success. Okay. Next day comes, seeing Gordon says me a stat, 40,000 people have seen it. A lot of messages all throughout the day. I've gotten a vaccine because of you, Craig. Lots of reward for me. I feel good, because clearly people are being vaccinated. I've tracked about 10 people who told me, I'm going to get the vaccine down at Erie today. I'm going to get at Reno. They messaged me back and said, hey, got the vaccine. So good first day. The erectile dysfunction thing now is a separate issue. Woke up in the morning, obviously that part wasn't working. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I was able to get a lot of people to the vaccine. What if I told them the other thing that has happened, which I know Jamaican men, don't like talk about, and it's something that would, create some fear level, because it wasn't working for me. Now, I spoke to my aunt, who is Dr. Christina Duncan, and I recorded a video in the morning. I shared it to her, and she said to me, "Oh, Craig, okay." She laughed, and I said, what do you think about this? And she said, I think I want to share it because I think this might help get people to get vaccinated. And she said, wow, you're brave, man. I think it's fine because all the medical stuff was correct. And I shared it to Gordon because me and Gordon have a great relationship. He put it up on Twitter, and, in an hour, Minister Tufton had called me. And I've never met him before, never spoken to him. He got my number and said, hi, Craig. I'm sorry, I need to sit back. Hi, Craig. You are a very, very, very brave man. Thank you so much for what you have done. He told me I was one of the biggest COVID vaccination advocates in Jamaica. And he told me, don't worry about much, son. The dead will raise eventually. Very, very funny guy. Actually, he's very humorous. I enjoyed the conversation. And, he told me he's going to post a video. Posted it. The rest was history. Went very, very viral. Lots of positive messages. Many people getting vaccinated. In fact, the whole country got vaccinated. Not whole country, but the vaccinations ran out. I think that the video going viral, being shown all over the place and people being afraid and seeing a young person so sick and talking about things that they've never heard before really helped. And that was a kind of self-sacrifice.
A kind of self-sacrifice. But 25,000 people yesterday got vaccinated in total for the 4-day blitz. 84,000 people across Jamaica got vaccinated. But your story touched a particular chord, especially for men, in that you were explaining that one of your side effects of COVID-19 was erectile dysfunction. Talk to me about getting sick, because we understand you got sick not once, but twice, and then recognizing that this was a side effect, and your decision to then share that side effect to the rest of Jamaica.
Yeah, so, being sick is very scary, and dying is even more scarier. I was writing a will in the hospital at UWI and recounting, those memories of me texting my mom and thinking about the fact that I could die. It was a very scary moment for me. But, just not wanting other people to go through that gives me the courage to talk about something that many other men have experienced and wouldn't talk about. I actually have friends who have told me that their thing didn't work. And I said, don't worry, man, 2 months. It was only not working for 2 months after COVID for them. And, there are other people at the hospital who, doctors have told me have also had erectile dysfunction from COVID. My doctor sent my mom an article and sent me right after and said, Craig, probably get back better in 3 to 6 months at max, if all signs are well, because recovery rates are very, very high. But COVID makes men 6 times more likely, based off the studies that are coming out now, to actually have erectile dysfunction. So it's not something that is permanent, hence why I could share it, because I do plan when it works again to make like no more communication or one more video to say, hey, I'm working again 3 months, 4 months later. I've raised from the dead, and hopefully everyone gets a laugh out of it. Like, the dog that went to Canada, like everyone making fun of him, and then he comes back and, people are happy to say, oh, you went to Canada, so my thing is back. But sharing it wasn't really an issue for me, because positive responses and the support I've gotten from my peers, my colleagues, I think probably every client I have has messaged me and said, thank you so much, you're amazing. And that made me feel in a very strong place to kind of continue the conversation, even go on TVJ today.
How old are you?
I'm actually 25.
What was it like for your family to see you as ill as you say you were? Because the videos that went viral and the pictures of you that went viral showed you looking incredibly ill. How ill did you get? And what did your family experience as you presented with what seemed to be very severe symptoms of COVID-19?
My father lost his father 2 weeks before I got sick, and he passed away, and he died suddenly. And my other grandfather or step grandfather, DK Duncan, also died of COVID, and that's a painful thing. So he was actually taking care of me every single day, and watching him, he was very worried about me being sick and worried about me passing out away or dying and just nervous. And but he did everything he could. He got me oxygen machine. He watched me. He checked my oxygen like every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes or so. He was just always checking, worried about me. He had COVID too, which he got from me, but he didn't get us back from the thing, right? My mom now, amazing doctor. Lots of people know her. Her name is Dr. Donna Roy Powell. She came to my house every single day and brought medicine and took care of me. She prescribed me with an antibiotic earlier. That actually was one of the differences in my survival, because when I went to the hospital and I got my first X-ray and they saw the pneumonia in my chest, it was actually pretty small because the antibiotic had already taken effect. So the difference in my, why I kind of came out is having two parents that, one, care very, very much about me and have income and jobs that they're able to kind of be flexible and take care of me during the day. Plus, having some knowledge of the medical system as a mom to be able to advocate for me and help. Because what I mean by advocate is that I wouldn't have gone to the hospital if I did not have my mom. Because me originally, I just want to stay at home. I was way more comfortable at home. But the vital stuff inside of me, like my liver and those things where, she's recommending getting tests and doing all these things, and you see, or take an X-ray and then you actually see, because COVID is not necessarily presenting. You feel a lot of pain and you could be literally dying, your oxygen level is low, but you can't tell if your liver is failing unless you go get a blood test and you see certain things. If you're really, really bad, you can't tell, but in the middle part where you need to make an action, which is what doctors are really good at, like looking at a patient and diagnosing them and getting the right test. And my mom was doing that on the outset. And she's told me many patients, have died before, getting off because they just didn't have anyone to kind of say, hey, you kind of sit there, just, taking a Panadol and going to sleep and then not getting to the hospital in time. But she did that for me. So that's why I survived. And then the doctors, obviously, at UWI. And there's a guy named Dr. Robinson, man, he's a really great doctor. I don't know how old he is, and he has his mask on the whole time, and his things, so I really just see his eyes. I think he's not from Jamaica, but he just had really excellent bedside care, friendly guy taking care of me. Hey, Craig, how are you today? Have you taken your meds? And the nurses were there. So there's a very good system there that, helped me. And those guys were the ones that saved me.
A good system that allows you to be here with us today and talk to us about your experience with COVID-19. At this time, we're going to take our first break inside TVJ All Angles. Remember our hashtag TVJ All Angles. Stay with us. We'll be right back.